All right, guys, I'm going to show you a video about how to set up a laser on site. So let's say we were going to grade out this parking lot. If we set the laser over here somewhere, you're not going to be able to reach this side of the parking lot, right? So the parking lot's sort of shaped as an L, and the building is kind of cupped in the center of that. So we also wouldn't want to put it like right here, right? Because you're clearly going to be working through here. So this is kind of a good spot, because if you set it here, you can reach most of the area. You also could put it like out here somewhere, if that would work. Or, you know, if that corner wasn't getting used, that would be super ideal, because you have all of that you can see in all of this. If I put it here, unless I put it higher than the tanks, you could lose some sight that way. But let's say for this job site, we're just going to work on the outskirts. So where all the equipment is, we're going to work. So this is a very good location. All right. So you're going to set up your tripod, and I like to have the laser eye somewhere. You'll see we're going to put it on a stick, but if your laser is down here, then your eye is going to be at this level most of the time if you're working on this surface. So I don't like to have an eye that's down at my waist, because then when I try to see what it's telling me, I have to lean down and look at it. So what I would do is I would raise the stand. Yeah, just unlock it and extend each leg. So you're gonna try to get this pretty level, right? And we're gonna put it close to this concrete barrier so that it doesn't get hit. So you want this fairly level. The lasers do self-level, but if you get them, if this is too crooked, it doesn't have enough degrees of motion to actually compensate for that. So then you're gonna put this on top, and there's a screw down here that threads into the bottom of that, and you can tighten that up, and that keeps this solid. Now some of the slope lasers will have a screen on here, and these lasers have two, would call it an axis. All right, so it could slope this way and it could slope this way. And so we're just worried about leveling everything right now. This laser is not a slope laser. That'll be a different training. So if it was a slope laser, you would need to make sure both of those readouts for each axis was at 0. So that could be an easy mistake. The guy before had it set at 2 degree slope to run a pipe. You come here, you're expecting it to be level to run grades, and it's not, and you don't understand why. It's because you didn't zero it out. So you want to check that. All right, so we've got this on there, we've got it tight, and you're going to turn it on, and you can see that thing in there. It's moving, you can hear it. It's moving kind of slowly, but it's what it's doing is it's figuring out what's level and checking itself, and once it's set, it'll start spinning. All right, there we go. So we've got a laser. So we're going to take our stick, and I'm going to set up on the concrete pad. So often on a job site, the finished floor elevation for a building will be kind of a benchmark that's good to use for other things. All right, so that's another important thing with setting up a laser, is where can you hit the benchmark? Where can you hit the measurement that you're going to take all other measurements off of? So clearly I can hit this here. Let's say this is finished floor. These are pretty simple. You hold the power button. I believe these take AA, and that laser takes the big batteries, the D batteries. It'll take 4 of them, and those will be in the work trucks usually. You're going to screw this onto here, but you need to find where that thing is reading. You can hear the different beeps, right? So when it beeps solid, you're right on, and it will tell you. So see, that is telling me it needs to go up, and you can hear that it's the slower beep, right? The faster beep is telling you you have to go down. And this actually tells you how much. That's 0.3 inches that it needs to go up. If I'm way up here, this thing will read plus or minus 2 inches. So there's 3/4 of an inch, roughly 0.7, 0.75, 3/4 of an inch it needs to go down. So that's how you set up a laser. There's your benchmark. Now, an easy way to do this that we want to train people is we want to actually have a consistent way of taking numbers. So let's say right now on our stick we're at 3.3 feet. 3.3 feet on a 10 stick. What we want to do is figure out where the laser is. Okay, so if I just, let's try to do this in a simple way. If I just set this as finished floor and it reads 3.3 feet, what that means, let's say the finished floor elevation is 1,733 feet, something like that. All right, and it's just going to be whatever the engineers come up with, whatever the topography of the landscape is, however they get those numbers. So 33 feet. So we're going to go, the laser spinning 3.3 feet above 33 feet. So the laser itself is set at what, 1,736.3 feet. So that number is what we would want to remember. 1,736.3 feet is it. What that's saying is the bottom of that stick right here, like if you put the eye at the very bottom, it would be even with the laser beam. That's the number that's being shot all the way across the job site. And so then when you're on that parking lot and you're like, oh, the parking lot needs to be at 1730 all the way across this edge. 1730. You know, that's 3.3 feet. Something that's 6.3 feet lower than the laser beam. And so then you would just set the stick at 6.3 right here. And so the math is very easy. You're on your calculator going to say, we know our laser's spinning at 1736.3, and we need to be at 1736 or 1730. So what's that come out to? 6.3. So you're going to add 6.3 to your 0 mark because it's going to go down. So that's a little bit backwards on a stick. When the elevation is higher, you need to actually move the eye down on a stick, right? When the elevation's lower, you move the eye up on a stick. So we can do a little more training on that, but that's the basics. The most important things is just to get the laser set up, get a benchmark figured out, and get a number to start the day. And hopefully this video can kind of give you the basics on that. So you're going to want to keep in your mind the whole job site, where you can reach the places you need to reach, how high to set the laser up, and also still be able to read a benchmark somewhere to get started. And that's it. And then at the end of the day, you just have to keep track. We have one laser eye, one laser stick out on the site. Our laser's set up here. That's all got to get turned off and put in the truck at the end of the day.